Hello guys! Welcome to Sissygram Genderbender Stories on YouTube. Today, I am bringing you a brand new genderbender story. If you like my voice, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Now, let's start the story. Alex found himself in an unfamiliar and unsettling place, a room filled with cold, metal tables. Each table bore the weight of a body, shrouded in crisp white sheets. The air was heavy with a grim atmosphere, and in one corner, a shadowy figure hovered unnoticed by the living people, who were busy with their grim duties. Alex watched in disbelief as two doctors approached the table where his own body lay, lifeless and still. He had been here for what felt like hours, maybe days. Time had lost meaning since the accident. Initially, he thought he was dreaming, floating above the chaotic scene of twisted metal and shattered glass. But when the emergency workers zipped him into a body bag, the crushing truth became clear: he was dead, or at least his body was. Yet, he remained present, aware, and seemingly unharmed. In a futile attempt to make contact, Alex had tried shouting, waving his arms, and even grabbing the paramedics, but his hands passed through them, and his voice was unheard. With a sense of growing unease, he watched as the doctors revealed his own lifeless face, examining it as though he were nothing more than a cold specimen. One doctor, a middle-aged woman with frizzy gray hair, consulted a clipboard and noted that he was a victim of the multi-car pileup on a 95. Her colleague, a younger man with kind eyes, nodded and ready to scalpel. Alex instinctively recoiled as the blade touched his chest, but he felt nothing. He watched, horrified, as they began dissecting what had once been his body. "This is insane," he muttered under his breath and turned away, floating through the wall. He found himself drifting through a bustling hospital corridor where nurses hurried by, pushing gurneys and reviewing patient charts. A group of interns gathered around a senior doctor, listening intently to his instructions. Alex wandered aimlessly, mesmerized by his newfound ability to pass through solid objects. He peeked into rooms, witnessing the ongoing dance of life and death. In one room, a woman cradled her newborn, her face wet with joyful tears. In another, an elderly man exhaled his final breath, surrounded by family. The stark contrast between these moments was overwhelming. Alex had never considered what came after death. He had been too busy living his life working at an accounting firm, trying to fix his broken marriage, and watching his children grow up far too quickly. Now, faced with his own mortality, regret filled him for all the moments he'd missed. He wandered through the pediatric ward. His attention was caught by a commotion. A team of doctors and nurses surrounded a young patient, working frantically to save him. The boy couldn't have been more than 20, his frail body connected to a ventilator. Alex drew closer, surprised by his growing desire to see this stranger survive. Despite the efforts to revive him, the boy's heart monitor flatlined with an eerie, sustained beep. The doctor announced the time of death, and the medical team began to disconnect the machines. But as they did, something extraordinary happened. A faint, shimmering outline emerged from the boy's body, hovering uncertainly in the air. Without thinking, Alex reached out and made contact with the boy's essence. Instantly, he felt a pull, a force tugging him toward the vacant body. He hesitated, but allowed himself to be drawn in. In a rush of sensations, Alex felt once again the scratchy hospital sheets, the ache in his chest from the failed resuscitation, the dryness in his throat. He blinked his eyes open to the harsh fluorescent lights. The nurse gasped and stumbled backward. "Doctor, he's awake!" she exclaimed. The room erupted into chaos as the medical team rushed in, checking his vitals and shouting orders. Alex, now inhabiting the boy's body, tried to speak, but his throat was raw from the breathing tube. The doctor leaned over him, astonished. "Can you tell me your name?" Before Alex could respond, a strange figure appeared in the doorway. A man who shimmered slightly, as if not fully solid, wearing robes that shifted like smoke. His ageless face bore a hint of amusement. None of the medical staff seemed to notice him. The doctor continued asking questions, but the man spoke up. "His name is Wyatt Chambers," he said with an air of finality. Alex turned his head, confused, but the strange man smiled at him. "My name is Maxim," he explained. "I'm what you might consider an assistant to death. And you, Alex, have caused quite a stir." Alex was taken aback. "Death?" he asked, confused. "You mean like the Grim Reaper?" Maxim chuckled lightly. "A crude description, but essentially correct. My job is to guide souls to their proper destination. But you, Alex, seem intent on charting your own course." Alex glanced back at Wyatt, who was now sitting up in bed, dazed but alive. "I didn't mean to. I just wasn't ready to die." "But that doesn't change the natural order of things. You can't hijack another person's life." Alex, now afraid, asked, "What happens now? Are you here to take me away?" Maxim stroked his chin thoughtfully. "Not exactly. Your untimely demise has created a bit of a mess in the cosmic order. It will take time to sort out. In the meantime, we can't have you floating about causing more trouble." With a casual gesture, Maxim opened a portal in the air. Alex followed reluctantly, feeling a wave of dizziness as they sped through the hospital at impossible speeds. The portal led them to the maternity ward, where a young woman, 38 weeks pregnant, lay sleeping. Her name was Alina Summers. "This will do nicely," Maxim remarked before propelling Alex into her body. For a moment, Alex felt disoriented. He was now aware of new sensations: the weight of a pregnant belly, the ache in his lower back, the flutter of movement from within. As he opened Alina's eyes, he marveled at his new reality. "This is Zane," he muttered. Maxim smiled. "I've given you a chance to experience life from a new perspective. Consider it a learning opportunity." Alex's new body was unfamiliar, and he felt a mix of bewilderment and horror. "But I am pregnant," he protested. "Indeed," Maxim said. "Alina Summers, 20 years old, about to become a single mother. Her soul has been temporarily relocated while you borrow her form." Alex struggled to adjust to this new life. He fumbled through Alina's belongings, tried to make sense of her life, and slowly began to appreciate her world. She was a young woman, struggling to make ends meet as a waitress. Her apartment was far from the comfortable suburban life Alex had known. One day, a friend of Alina's, Mark, came to check on her. Alex, still adjusting to his new body, felt a pang of sympathy for Alina and the life she had been living. As the days passed, Alex started taking better care of Alina's body, eating healthier meals, and doing prenatal exercises. He began to appreciate Alina's friends, her strength, and her unyielding love for her unborn child. One evening, as he sat on the balcony, Alex felt a deep sense of connection to Alina's life, her baby, and the future they would share. When the baby kicked, Alex whispered, "We've got this, little one." The following day, when Alina went into labor, Alex experienced pain unlike anything he had ever known. But with Alina's strength, he pushed through it. After hours of labor, a baby girl was born. Alex felt a love so profound that it took his breath away. Looking down at the infant, he realized that this was why he had been given this second chance, not just to learn empathy, but to ensure this precious life had the love it deserved. As Alex held the baby, he felt a deep connection to Alina's life, and in that moment, Maxim reappeared, telling Alex that he had completed his task. Alex was offered a choice: he could return to his old life as Alex, or he could continue as Alina, raising her daughter. After a moment of consideration, Alex chose to remain as Alina. "She deserves a chance to be the amazing mother I know she can be," he said. Maxim smiled and sent Alex, now truly Alina, back to the hospital room. Alina's memories of her life, as Alex faded away, replaced by a deep sense of purpose. Holding her newborn daughter, she whispered, "Sweet dreams, my little miracle." Outside, a shooting star streaked across the night sky, a sign that Maxim had completed his task. This is where the story ends. I spend hours of effort creating these kinds of stories, so if you're new to this channel, please hit the like button and subscribe my Sissygram Genderbender Stories YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to comment on what you would do if you were in his place. I'm eagerly waiting for your comments, and I personally read all of them. Okay, guys, thanks for joining. And I'll see you in the next story in the next video. Take care and bye.